So, you've found my testament, etched here in the dust and the silence. If you're reading this, I know you're already lost, a fellow traveler out here in the ruins. But you have to listen to me. There is a world of difference between being lost and being trapped. And I'm here to tell you about the trap. Think of this as my record, a warning, scraped from memory against the searing quiet of this wasteland. It's a warning about a promise. A really seductive promise, a gospel of peace that's offered by shadows. And believe me, it's a peace more terrible than any war. I need to tell you about the place I fled, the place you might be looking for right now in your exhaustion. It's called the Abbey of Safety. And yes, it looks like a gilded cage, promising comfort from the storm, but its walls are built from the bones of souls that just stopped growing. You see, the whole abbey is built on this one trade-off. It offers you wax fruit. It looks perfect, but it's completely lifeless. It offers the terminal shutter, like the final click of a camera on a version of you that will never, ever change again. Life there is precise, it's ordered, and it is so, so hollow. Your spirit has already rotted into the void long before your body even thinks about stopping. They ask you to trade the lightning for the lamp glow. The abbey's warmth, it's artificial. It's a convenient architecture built to shield you from the jagged reality of just being. Out here, in the wasteland, yeah, the mountain frost bites, the silence is searing. But this pain, this is the pain of being alive. It's the price you pay for living with your eyes wide open. Now, the philosophy that powers this gilded cage, this living tomb, it's championed by two figures. Twin shadows, really, who offer a final judgment on a decaying world. They are the Red Spectre and his brother, the uncanny Jester. Their gospel? They call it the logic of zero. It's this belief that your very existence, your individuality, is actually a mistake, an original catastrophe. So they offer what they call a crimson gift, the promise to end all your suffering by helping you surrender yourself, by erasing that agonizing tension of just being separate. And they've got a method, a 4-step process they call a reclamation. It's chilling. First, they convince you that your uniqueness is a flaw. Then, their fire of dismantlement comes to burn away your identity. The static disturbance that is you gets silenced. And finally, your soul is returned to the quiet, dark unity of the inorganic, a state with zero tension and absolutely zero life. I rejected it, all of it. I fled the abbey and its hollow comfort, and journeyed out into this gothic wasteland. But the logic of zero, it isn't confined by walls. It followed me. It stalked the edges of my existence, and it took the form of the uncanny Jester. I saw him, perched on a jagged rock, like a gargoyle against the flickering starlight. He wasn't there to mock me, not to entertain. He was just a silent vigil, a mirror reflecting the rotting society I just left behind, waiting for the final act of my own despair. To look into his eyes, well, it's not like seeing nothing. It is seeing everything. It's like a blight of revelation. His void eyes, they show you the precise, unblinking geometry of your own failure. And there's no looking away from that gaze. He truly is the instrument of truth. He finally broke his silence, but only to dismiss my entire journey, my whole struggle, as nothing more than a chemical scream against an infinite silence. And then he offered me his ultimate test, the final proof of his philosophy. He offered me the hourglass. This hourglass he offered me it's a terrible thing. Inside, there's a fractured mirror of your entire life. But it's not a tool for learning or for redemption. No, it locks you into a permanent cycle of your worst moments, your most shameful mistakes, every single one of your ontological errors. You're just condemned to relive them, over and over, forever. That's his test. Can you bear the full, unedited weight of yourself? And that, right there, is the Jester's wager. He is betting that if you're faced with the inescapable truth of your own flawed identity, confronted with every failure playing on an endless loop, you'll break. You will beg for the logic of zero. You will plead for the grace of the abyss, for that profound peace of non-being. So I ask you, traveler, the same question he asked me, stripped of all hope for redemption, with every single mistake laid bare, could you endure it? Could you bear the full weight of who you really are? And there it was, the final choice, laid out right in front of me. On one side, the Jester's offer, the grace of the abyss, the promise of erasure, the total absence of self, a quiet return to the inorganic shore. And on the other, something else entirely, the sovereign triumph, finding pride in suffering, embracing that agonizing tension, and choosing the eternal recurrence of the storm. Faced with this choice, this wager for my very soul, I made my decision. I would not beg for the void. I would say yes to the lightning. I took his instrument of truth and I turned it against him, forging my own logic from its terrible fire. I rejected their crimson gift. I refused the quiet comfort of being erased. I chose the fierce, vital, painful flash of lightning over the hollow, steady safety of the Abbey's lamp glow. I chose to live. I completely inverted his philosophy. I turned his logic of zero into a logic of one. I took what he called the original catastrophe, my own distinct identity, and I declared it a reality to be willed again and again and again, forever. By accepting the hourglass, by saying yes to every scar and every failure it held, the Jester's own weapon became my forge. His fire of dismantlement was transformed into a fire of becoming. And in that exact moment, his bells, for the very first time, fell silent. You see, his instrument of truth had met a truth it simply could not negate. So remember this, traveler, as you make your own way through these ruins. I chose the eternal recurrence of the storm over the inorganic shore. The only question that remains for you is, what will you choose?